Female politicians fear a normalised toxic environment of gendered abuse. It's stopping women from wanting a seat at the decision-making table. Now, National Party Deputy Leader and Finance Minister Nicola Willis has announced the Ministry for Women is working with NetSafe on a toolkit for workplaces supporting women in leadership positions. And she shared a message for online harassers. Stuff off, you pathetic little troll. I like it. And the Minister joins me now. Good afternoon, Minister.
Good afternoon, Leah. You know, this is the thing. Whenever I talk about what it's like to be a woman in leadership, I start by saying it's absolutely fantastic. You know, these positions are incredible privileges. We get to do amazing stuff. And I want women to hear that rather than hear about the bad stuff. Yeah. But when you're in a group of women, MPs and councillors, as I was yesterday, you've just got to be truthful. There are also some pretty vile trolls out there who get a bit gendered in the criticisms they make.
How significant then is online abuse to female politicians and women in these roles, public roles?
Well, the first thing is online abuse is an issue, right? It's occurring for young people via social media. It occurs for public figures, men and women. I think for women, what's particularly obvious to us is some of the abuse we get it seems to be because we're actually a woman. And that's the bit that's particularly troubling about it. It seems that some people find it challenging to see women in some roles. And the vast majority of people don't. But if you've got a troll who's on your case, it can get pretty nasty.
In your role, Nicola, I mean, you would have expected a degree of negativity, maybe even a little bit of a disturbing, to emails and messages, and I guess. But is it worse than you thought?
Look, I totally expected it, and I come from the perspective that if you're in a big role, then you should expect to take some flack, and you should know how to wear your armour and take that in your stride. I think what people find surprising when they come into elected office sometimes is how vile the nature of some of the abuses, the things that people are prepared to say online that no one would ever say to your face.
No.
And it gets into its own little atmosphere where because someone has lowered the tone so much, then others feel okay about being pretty grubby too. And the B word and the C word have no place in our community. I mean, those words are misogynist and nasty, and we shouldn't use them. And so as soon as I hear what are those words wrapped into the criticism, I think, well, you're not a particularly nice fellow, are you?
Yeah, do you, for women in roles in the role of a powerful role, do you think the men, the male counterparts, are hassled as much?
I think they get hassled as well. I imagine the nature of the hassle is different. This is something I've talked a bit with my colleague Chris Bishop about, because he's my friend as well as my colleague, so he's seen me after I've been on the receiving end of some nasty things from time to time. And it's interesting because he gets quite emotional about it when he sees what I receive sometimes. He says, I can't believe that people would say that. And so we do get more comments, I think, about our appearance and our clothing and our voices. And in my case, I'm a mum of 4 kids. So one of the insults that people do like to reach for is, I bet your kids hate you too, or I bet you're a horrible mother, or your poor kids having you as a mother. And maybe men get that too, you're a horrible dad, your poor kids, but I'm not sure that I've seen that. So I can only comment on my own experience.
I was talking once on a show, and we talked about families, and I said that I haven't got any children, and someone texted in, I wouldn't let you look after my dog, which is, I'm a great dog owner. And I thought nothing of it, but then I think the one that I'll always remember, and in my role too, people are normally very good, but they will send in some vile stuff. And then I think for that one, someone else said, life wouldn't be able to be sustained in your wine-soaked womb.
Yeah.
And I just, yeah, that's, and my producer,
there's a little bit of poetry in that one, Leah. So we'll give them a little bit of credit for being slightly more creative.
Well, you know,
but,
they know I'm a Chardonnay.
Poetry.
Yeah, it's poetry. I'm a Chardonnay drinker, but it was my producer, like Chris Bishop. She got really upset and wanted to go down the line and find them. I said, look, just let it go. It's their, that's their problem.